So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left. They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life. It's modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people, because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is. It's very bad conditions, very inhumane, and the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look at it like they're ripping good people off the job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run. I just want to say, for all the haters, just wait until the rest of the story comes out about this raid. And the other information that I passed along about some other factories has a little bit to do with human trafficking and people being brought here against their will to this country, basically put in slave labor. It's all going to come out. It's going to come out probably there are dead bodies buried at some of these places because they didn't want to call the police and let them know that they were hiring illegal labor. That's all going to come out. But imagine being mad. I didn't have anything to do with the Korean aspect of it, but I don't like modern day slavery. That is not okay. But imagine being someone who reported your neighbor for not covering their face up in 2020, or because they left their yard during a curfew. Okay, but then being enraged because somebody reports literally people's lives being endangered. And that doesn't make me a racist. And I'm sorry, but the people that align with me agree with me. And that's what matters. And everything that's going on is what I voted for. This country needs to be cleaned up.
이렇게 남아서 이러고 싶은 사람은 없었을 것 같아요. 지금 이렇게 상황 겪고 나서는 다음에도 다 같이 나갈까라는 생각도 좀 들기도 하고, 일단 비자는 어떻게 될지 모르겠지만은 굳이 좀 뭐 다시 나가야 될 사람은 또 나가야 되겠지만은, 근데 지금 아직은 뭐 생각을 좀 해봐야 되겠습니다.
뉴스 통해서 구금되는 뭐 결박해갖고 잡혀 들어가는 거 봤잖아요. 그걸 보고 그냥 그때부터는 이제 뭐 잠도 못 자고 뭐 그랬죠.
한국은 이런 대접 받으면 안 된다.
Can you imagine threatening someone's life, threatening them on the phone, threatening them on Messenger, threatening their kids, and then when they clap back, you say, "Oh my God, how dare you talk to me that way? You're running for Congress. You should be more of a Christian," when your behavior is anything but Christian. I love it when the atheists lecture people. Y'all are the poster children for the mental health reform we need in this country. You really are.
Someone who just went online bragging about being the reason 475 people were just arrested. It didn't go the way that you thought, did it? Because the way that you were so happy to share with the world voluntarily that you were the one that contacted ICE, that got that Hyundai plant that was in the middle of being constructed completely shut down, and over 400 people arrested, most of them being Koreans, which you seemed kind of confused about until you realized that Hyundai is owned by Koreans, and that the reason they had so many people from other countries here was because they knew they were going to have to train Americans to do this job, because all of their instructions from Korea were in Korean. So they got approval to send people here to the United States to construct their massive facility in the way that you were like, now look, there's over 475 jobs that are now going to be available for people in Georgia, because they weren't giving these jobs to Georgians. That's right, they couldn't give these jobs to people in Georgia because none of them spoke the language. And her narrative of bringing 475 jobs to people in Georgia are making the world laugh, because anyone who understands that they were just constructing this facility, this was going to be a facility that would have given nearly 9,000 jobs to people in Georgia. She had zero concept of that. All she saw were people from other countries in her state, specifically in her town, and it upset her so much that she contacted ICE and said that she was doing it because they had unsafe working environments and they weren't getting paid enough. So she contacted ICE. Because of her fight for the people of Georgia, they have lost all of their people who were going to train them for the jobs that this facility would have brought. The owners of this facility, the investors, the people paying for it and bringing all of these jobs into the state of Georgia, are now threatening to can it all. That's right, they are going to shut down this construction site, and they are not going to continue building their facility that would have brought almost 9,000 jobs to her state. Would have not known any of this had she not come online and bragged about it. Oh, and she's also running for Congress.
If you needed a clear picture of just how broken Republican leadership has become, look no further than Georgia, where a MAGA congressional candidate bragged that she called in a tip to ICE and helped trigger the raid on Hyundai's battery plant. Just imagine how chaotic that looks for the Republican Party right now. Donald Trump has made it clear he sees these massive foreign investments as trophies, each one of them another kiss on the ring from another government pouring money into the United States. It's why he loves to stand on stage and take credit for them constantly. And yet, one of his own up-and-coming foot soldiers just blew up one of his biggest deals. Tori Branum didn't wait for orders. She didn't follow the chain of command. She took initiative by herself and for herself to make a phone call and prove she was tough enough for the MAGA base. But what she really proved is that this party has no discipline, no coordination, no real leadership. You've got Trump at the top trying to play statesman, begging foreign governments to come invest here, and down at the bottom, you've got some dumbass MAGA Karen throwing a wrench into the gears just to earn some brownie points with the loudest voices on the far right. And now, South Korea is rightfully furious. The project is in jeopardy, and the Republican Party just managed to sabotage one of Trump's own crown jewel investments. All because their own people can't tell the difference between serving the movement and serving their own egos. That's not strength. That doesn't show leadership. That's just pure chaos. And it's the kind of chaos that leaves America's economy in the trash.
I am embarrassed, okay? As a battery scientist and engineer in the United States, we need all the help we can get to build our gigafactories, build our battery factories. And here we had ICE came in and detained Korean Hyundai workers when they're trying to help us establish a battery value chain in North America. If we don't have people from other countries who actually know how to build batteries coming and teaching us Americans how to build batteries, how are we going to build batteries here? How are we going to have an automotive industry? How are we going to be able to maintain our economy? Americans can build batteries, but we don't have enough people that know how to do this. And China leads the world globally when it comes to battery technology, by far. We need to work with Europe and Korea and Japan and other countries to build up this global value chain of batteries. Those Korean Hyundai workers weren't even staying here for very long. They were just coming here to show us the know-how about the equipment and the process and then go back to Korea. They don't want to stay here. Korea's battery industry is booming. It's amazing. Earlier this year, I was in Seoul, Korea at Inner Battery 2025. One of the biggest battery conferences in the world with 80,000 people attending. That's like nearly twice the size as the battery conferences in North America. Their battery conference looks like the Consumer Electronics Show. I mean, look at this Porsche Taycan at the LG Energy Solutions booth. So now you may see why I'm a bit embarrassed. I mean, the United States was funding the battery industry development through the Inflation Reduction Act, but then Trump cut that, okay, cut the parts of it. And so how are we going to get funding And what are we going to do if we're deporting the people who are trying to help us set up this industry? There's no strategy to this, is there? Like, what's going on? This is embarrassing.
A woman claims she tipped off federal immigration authorities to South Korean workers at a plant in Georgia. So when Tori Branum, a former U.S. Marine MAGA acolyte and a congressional hopeful, called on ICE to raid a Hyundai plant, she probably thought she was making a strong political statement. But instead, she ignited a firestorm of backlash, chaos, and controversy. From workers and families left in shock to communities outraged at being targeted, the story has become yet another example of how MAGA-style gotcha politics always comes back around. In this video, we broke down the viral clips, the fallout from Branum's actions, and how this entire situation has turned into a textbook case of FAFO. If you thought politics was just words, think again. This one has real lives caught in the middle. So here's the bottom line. When Tori Branum decided to weaponize ICE against a Hyundai plant, she thought she was calling the shots. Instead, she lit the match on a fire she couldn't control. This isn't just about one call or one raid. It's about how reckless decisions ripple through communities, businesses, and families. And once again, we're reminded if you play MAGA games, you get MAGA prizes. And that's what FAFO looks like in real life. Hit that like button if you believe accountability matters. Subscribe to The Progressive Democracy for more breakdowns of politics, democracy, and FAFO moments as they happen. Thanks for tuning in. Stay sharp. Stay informed, and remember, democracy only works if you do. Just a quick note. Full credit goes to the original creators of these videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.